boomer shooters are generally pretty good. I don't think this is controversial to say. They come from a place of love for old school sensibilities and generally are not all about nostalgia, but taking what worked about old school shooters and making something with that. As the result, I think the average boomer shooter level design is far superior to, say, a random Duke Nukem level. Most of these old school shooters seek to imitate Quake, and as someone who never liked Quake but was an avid Doom fan, this was a bit of a downside to this otherwise interesting emerging genre. But besides my personal taste regarding Quake, I always also held the opinion that simply replicating old shooters might not be the best approach. And thus, one I really liked was Dusk, with its 360 spin mechanic. But nothing ever quite does it with simple but well done innovation like UltraKill. By combining elements from action games, especially Devil May Cry, it changes the feel of the game entirely, in my opinion. Level stats are an old thing in shooters, but getting live feedback on how well the game thinks you're doing makes the shooting feel more immediate. You know exactly what you suck at and what you're doing well, combining a versatile moveset with a diverse arsenal of weapons, and you have plenty of room to experiment and get immediate feedback, much like action games that UltraKill borrows from. This kind of immediate feedback was something that I always thought was missing from single-player shooters. In multiplayer, you of course have your leaderboard, which can at any time show you how well you're doing. But single-player shooters don't have the same kind of immediate feedback. And that's what I think UltraKill does by combining elements from an action game. That's not to say that all that it is simply a mix of shooting and action game elements, but that it combines the two so well that it's worth noting just how good of a combination it turned out to be. To have the thought to mix these two and an exact idea on how to implement them that works so well. To say that shooting in this game is hectic is severely understating it. This perfect meshing of elements creates gameplay that I know truly stands out from the rest. The game does actually feature many original things, its art style, level design, and so on. One particular element of the presentation, it owes to a certain trend in new indie horror games that themselves owe it to the PS1 and its lack of a Z buffer and general graphical properties. It's interesting that enabling the PS1 graphics, its effects aren't just limited to the look of the game, it also affects the feel of the gameplay. It's interesting that enabling the PS1 graphics has effects on both graphics and the gameplay. The diverse cast of the remarkably deadly enemies from afar become jiggly dots, ready to end you any moment, and hordes of peons to slaughter through become a mass of pixelated dithered matter. I haven't actually finished this game, so that's all I really have to say for now. I was impressed by how well the game works, and I hope to see more games that do similar things. I hope you enjoyed this little quick look. It was very quick, but as I said, my thoughts aren't complete, and perhaps I will do a more complete review someday if this video gets any views. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy the game if you end up playing it, and take care.